Hello, and welcome to Trend Watch by CompTIA Research, where we give you a little bit of this and a little bit of that in today's technology data. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, Happy New Year, first of all. And I think we'll kick off the year this year with some data about how channel companies are feeling about 2024, the year ahead. So what are their expectations? And I can report to you that sentiment is generally optimistic. So yay, that's good news. I would venture to say this is probably we're beginning the very first full year that I would describe as post-pandemic. So we're fully out of the pandemic. Of course, there are vestiges of it in the way that we do work remotely, et cetera. But I'd say the most of the ramifications of the pandemic are behind us at this point. And so we're starting off a full new business year in the post-pandemic era. And I think some of the sentiment reflects that. I'll give you a few data points first, then we'll talk a little bit about what we think is necessary for an optimistic attitude to come true, and then conversely, what a pessimistic results might be. First off, so 68% of channel respondents to our recent IT Outlook study said they're feeling pretty good or very good about the year ahead. So that's a good chunk. That's a vast majority right there that have some, good feelings about 2024. 23%, so about a quarter, said they had some mixed feelings, and that's pretty normal. There are companies that may still be recovering from a year that was not so great last year, and have a little bit of trepidation going into the year ahead. And just 8% said they feel uneasy. So, this is a good sign that people's attitude is kind of in a pretty healthy place looking ahead to 2024. We asked our respondents, so what are some of the things that you think need to happen in order for your optimistic attitude to come to fruition, for you to see good returns on the year? And most of these are most of the things that they're thinking about are all around business performance and how well their business individually does this year. So what's going to be dependent upon their success? Reaching new customers. So coming out of the post-pandemic, a lot of post-pandemic sales work went into cultivating business from existing customers, because getting new customers was harder. This year, a lot of the focus is going to be on broadening your footprint and getting new customers. So channel companies are looking to double down on the activity that they pursue that's going to get them net new business. Other things that they're looking to do, besides expanding externally, is looking internally and improving their operations, so becoming more efficient. And that's something that we've seen as a trend even during the pandemic, was making sure that your business is running as optimally as possible right now before you can go ahead and try to expand it or grow it. Make sure that you're doing everything as efficiently as possible. And some of the things that will require is maybe taking advantage of artificial intelligence. So we talked a lot about AI over the course of last year. We're going to continue to talk about AI into this year. And a lot of channel companies, particularly MSPs, will find ways to use AI to make their companies more automated, more efficient in some of the rote tasks that they may be able to offshoot into the AI tools, and then free up their people to do more strategic types of work that'll help them with finding those net new customers. Finally, one of the other things that's going to be really important for companies to achieve the optimistic outlook that they have right now is improving their sales and marketing. And I like to hear that. So they're looking to become more professionalized and make more investments around sales and marketing. They're already doing technology well, but these two other pillars of business are really critical to being able to grow your business and boost profitability. So improving sales and marketing, I would say there are two things that you need to do. One is to integrate those two disciplines more. So making sure that marketing isn't operating completely separate from sales. They are tied together. So all marketing efforts and activities and campaigns should be funneled back directly to sales, and sales should know exactly what kind of campaigns are going on, so that we can have a nice loop between the marketing activities and then the follow-up sales activities, which will get you to the net new customers that we're trying to get. The other thing is more investment in marketing. And what we did see in our Outlook research this year is channel companies telling us that they are going to be making much deeper investments in marketing activities, marketing employees. So this is all good news, because marketing has never been a big spend area for channel companies. So it's good to see. Finally, negatives. What could derail the optimism going into next year? And no surprise, a lot of that has to do with external factors that we really don't have a lot of control over. So, channel companies are worried about any continuation of high inflation. Good news is we're seeing some really good markers in the economy as we enter into 2024. One being inflation rates are going down. The Fed may be pulling back on that, and we've seen the stock market cheering about some of the news that the Fed might be pulling back on interest rates. So that's some good news, and hopefully that will continue as we move through 2024. The other thing that may cause some concerns are the continued issue around labor costs and availability. That is a perennial. We've been struggling in the technology sector for some time now with finding people with the right skills, being able to afford them. It's a competitive market out there. So the labor pool and the talent quest is going to be something that's going to continue. And I don't think that goes away. Like I said, it's a perennial issue for a lot of companies. Overall, though, bottom line, channel companies are pretty pumped going into 2024, and hopefully with some diligence and attention to the right areas and business performance being the number one thing, we'll see some of that optimism continue all the way through the next 12 months. Thank you.